Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City, where we want to help you build a Lego city regardless of the space you have. And to populate your custom Lego city, I'm going to review the Lego Summer 2019 set Townhouse and Pet Shop set 31097. This is a great building that you can add to a custom Lego city, and I'll show you the different build techniques and highlight certain points and also discuss how you can incorporate this into a Lego city. The build you see in front of you is the largest build that you can build. This is a 3-in-1 creator set, meaning there are 3 builds in total. And if you look at the box art over here at the back, this is the main build which we built. And over here you can see another build. This looks like an apartment, very tall and thin and narrow. And over here is a row of single-story shops or businesses, and there's also a tram over here. Generally, when you build the smaller builds, there are a lot of leftover parts, so I do like to go with the larger build. And I think in the context of a Lego city, this will probably interest most people. So let's get started. Let's start off with this mini hot dog stand. If you follow my channel, you know that I really like 3D brick built signs, and this is a great hot dog sign. I'm not too sure about the stand or stall itself. I think it can be built a bit better. This is really basic, but I think if you want to do any kind of a mock or change it around, you can take this hot dog sign and use it for almost any hot dog stand or restaurant. But overall, this is a cute build. You get the hot dogs, you get the grill, and you get some ketchup and mustard as well. Now on to the main build. This is a corner build, and it doesn't fold up like the corner deli or the Park Street townhouse that we got in previous years. This is more like the Avengers Sanctum Sanctorum, where it's fixed in place at right angles. So Technic pins hold these two buildings to each other as well as to this base plate, and I'll show you how you can take it out later on. But this is as it is designed. It is pretty detailed, at least from the exterior. You see there seems to be many things going on which adds to the visual clutter, which I personally like. Some people might find this a bit too much going on with the colors and signs and stuff, but I think this is almost a representation of a real city corner that you might see, because in a real city you get all kinds of businesses, you get all kinds of clutter around the street and on the walls of the building. So to me this is realistic and I like it for that reason. Over here I believe this is the cafe. You can see from that sign over here, and you can go up to an apartment. There's a park over here, and I guess this is also the seating for the cafe. You get a menu over here. Brick built tree, brick built dog. This looks a bit like Brian from Family Guy. And over here, this is the pet store. I think a lot of people are wondering why we're getting another pet store incorporated into a building, since there's an expert modular building which is a pet shop. I'm not sure, but I guess my theory is because there was a vet that came along with the corner garage, and maybe they thought you needed a pet shop if you have a vet, and not everyone might have that pet stall. But this is a much more cute version of a pet store, and incidentally, if you buy the extra sticker packs, it comes with a lot of stickers for a pet shop. So I'm sure that's probably the reason, and you can add the stickers to this build to make it even more interesting. So here we have a sign, and I believe this sign is really for this coffee house, although this itself looks more like an apartment, and we'll get to that in just a bit. Sticking with the outside, we have a bit of a container for some bones and I guess balls for pets. ATM machine. This is pretty nice. I think the build, it's smaller than previous ATMs that built in terms of the width. So it's just 2 studs across. So if you have a small space but you want an ATM, this is pretty good. It's interesting, they used a chair piece here as kind of a roof or visor. I'm not sure how I like the look of it, but it definitely is at least interesting. There's this traffic light which comes out over here. That's nice. And let's come over to the back. Now the thing about these type of buildings, they are open back. So the 2 schools of thought. Some people like the fact that it's an open back so that you can easily see the inside. You can also access the interior very easily. But for people like me, Generally, I prefer all the buildings in my Lego city to be the same kind of closed buildings. And since we've got expert modular buildings which are all closed up, I like to have my buildings closed up as well. So generally when I buy this type of build, I will remock it so that it becomes closed up. But more on that later. But having a look at this, you can see there's no staircase or ladder access. You just have to assume that the minifigs can go up some way. Let's start off over here. This is the pet shop. And this aquarium over here, let's see if you can see it over there. It's a bit dark, but let's zoom in just a bit. This aquarium actually is the same build from the expert modular building pet shop. In fact, let's try to take it out. I think that's easier. So it uses this glass panel piece and uses a clip for the fish. It's very effective, and I personally like the look of it for an aquarium. Over here we've got a counter with an old style cash register, brick built as well. And what we have over here is a rat. Now I must admit this is quite cute for a brick built rat, but generally I don't like the brick built animals unless they're supposed to be sculptures or toys. But if they're supposed to represent the real thing, Lego already has a molded piece, for example, for a rat or a dog or a cat, and I like to use those to represent real minifig animals. So I consider this more of a toy, although I believe this is supposed to be the real thing. We also have a toucan inside. That's pretty cute. And over on this side, let's take out this minifig first. This is the cafe. Simple seats inside, and a lamp, cash register, but not much of a preparation area. Now I believe the inside we have over here, this is probably an apartment. That's my guess. And it's the apartment for this cafe over here. There's a nice kitchen build, which I do appreciate. It is pretty well designed, very basic again for the size, but I do like that. Nothing else. Over on this side, I believe, is another apartment. This looks a bit more swanky. That's a living room. We do have a television with a printed towel over here, kind of a TV console, and over here we have a bed. Notice no toilets once again, but there's a nice little balcony area over here, even though the door doesn't open up just all the way, just barely. There's a little rooftop garden on this side over here. Now we look at the details on this side. This has a bit more of a traditional look, so it's quite ornate with using these different elements from this modified brick over here, and the use of this parrot or bird part in white, and sloped bricks and tiles and round plates, and these modified plates with closed bars. So all this comes together to create this ornate pattern, which is quite nice, and it contrasts greatly with this side over here, which is obviously more modern in nature. I like the use of these towel pieces. Are these towels or are these jumper plates? These are actually jumper plates. So these are jumper plates with round black studs in between, and it gives this grill effect. And I think this is a very smart design. I do like this a lot. This signage here, I like the brick built sign again, but for some reason they all move about, all these elements. I'm not sure why they didn't just use modified bricks to keep them in place. But that's a pretty decent sign, and you can use that even if you aren't using it for here. And over here, lots of glass panel, which makes it look modern. And I should talk about the top as well. Let's pull this off because it should be modular in nature. And it is connected over here with a Technic pin. So I'm going to just pop this out. So if you do want to take that out, you got to pop that out. And over here, we can see a nice solar panel. So it's great. Good use of energy. And that's the top of the build. Okay, so let's put this back together and let's discuss how you can incorporate this into your Lego city. So obviously you can incorporate this into your Lego city as it is. pretty much just slap it on and put it in a corner and put other modular buildings next to it. I think that's pretty much easy. And if you have the other 3-in-1 creator sets from previous years, like the corner deli, the Park Street Townhouse, the grocery shop and toy store, the bike shop, they would fit together in a row, and you can create a small section of a Lego city with these type of builds. In my case, I have actually remarked all of those sets so that they're bigger, but I won't get to that in this particular video. Let's just talk about, if you get this set, what can you do? So obviously this is kind of freestanding. I'll move it aside for now. You can put that anywhere in your city. But the way this is designed, the builds are put together with Technic pins, so you can actually change the configuration around. Okay, let's try to do this without creating too much of a mess. You take out that Technic pin over there, and let's assume that we split this part over here. So notice there are Technic pins here, and there are actually Technic pins on both sides of the building, as well as the other side, so Technic bricks. So you could technically kind of put this together this way as well. If you want, you could take this out as well. Why don't I just do that? So you can take out this whole plate over here, and you could put it on this side over here in either way. So I'm not going to do that just yet, but you get the general idea. So now you have a narrower build, but you can put it in a row, so that's pretty versatile. You could, I guess, put this back to back like that, and that becomes almost a modular style building. You could actually put it against another build, and for this you could put it by this side, I guess, this way. You could even split this up, because if you look at this particular little park area, it's made out of 2 base plates, and you get 2 sets of these Technic bricks, one here and one here. So you can reconfigure this. So imagine if you break this up, so you have 2 of these plates basically. You can kind of put them side by side like that. So you again have kind of a corner block. Or you could just remove this completely, set this aside in another part of your city. Maybe you could put this, okay, let's put it back properly. And you could have this in like a little park area in your city, and just have this as a modular block like that. So that's a possibility. Lots of parts that keep falling out. Let's see what else you could do. I guess that's basically about it in terms of the configuration. If you do not want to do any remarking, that means you do not want to drastically change any of the pieces, and you just want to modify it as it was designed. So it is, in my view, pretty flexible. You can use it in different ways, and it really depends on your own Lego city and what you want to do. So for example, if I were to put it like this, I can see this easily going with the corner deli, the Park Street Townhouse, any kind of those builds. In those sets from previous years, they were held together with hinging bricks, and they could actually hinge open like that. So if you want and you have the parts, you could put in some hinging brick so that it becomes dollhouse style. But if not, you can just set it like that, and as I said, set this over here. You could add, if you have extra plates, put it here. So minor modifications. I wouldn't even call these remarks, but you get the idea, and you basically, I'm sure, understand how you can configure it differently in order to fit it into your custom Lego city. I hope you enjoyed this look at the brand new 2019 Lego Townhouse and Pet Shop. In my next video coming out really shortly, I'm going to show you how you can remark this so that you can make it a modular style building on a 16 by 32 stud base plate, or how you can make it closed up so that you can fit it with other expert modular style buildings. And basically I'll show you my idea of what I intend to do, or at least the concept of how to remark it to fit a custom Lego city so that it's a complete build. I think that's going to be pretty fun. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that particular video. And if you want to see a really cool speed build of this set, head over to Annie's channel. She's got this ambidextrous tandem mirror build of this set. Now, what does that mean? She basically builds two sets at the same time, one in each hand, but mirror images of each other. I think it's pretty cool, so check it out. Just follow the card above or the link below, like that video, and subscribe to the channel as well. So stay tuned for the next video, which is coming up really shortly. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts on this particular set, do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Check out these two videos before you go.